Welcome in, everybody. A little bit of a bonus edition. Aaron Torres Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Aaron Torres. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a great day. Look, it's that time of year. News is slowing down just a little bit. Doesn't mean, though, that we're not giving you good content. And on today's show, we have a very special guest as Kentucky commit, one of the top players in the portal this offseason, a guy that I think could be a top 10 pick at this time next year. Jayden Quaintance joins the show. Okay, so Jayden Quaintance, we've told the story a million times. He entered college basketball at 17 years old this past year, okay? Was a McDonald's All-American at 16, decided to reclassify and play 2 years of college basketball. Well, he goes to Arizona State, is an all Big 12 freshman team member, about 9.5 points, about 8 boards, 2.5, almost 3 blocks per game, decides to enter the portal, and he ends up at Kentucky. I think he is going to be a superstar in college basketball next year, and we discuss his entire journey and everything that you need to know, whether you're a college hoops fan, Kentucky fan, or whatever with Jayden Quaintance. We will talk to him about why Kentucky Part 2, his relationship with Mark Pope, how his relationship with Mark Pope has changed since Mark Pope first took the job. Remember, Jayden Quaintance was committed to Kentucky under John Calipari. He ends up there under the new head coach. And, of course, we talk a little bit about the surgery that he just had, although a little bit of a spoiler alert, he tells us he expects to be back on the court for Kentucky's opener next November in the start of the season. So before we get started, a couple quick reminders. Jayden Quaintance coming up in just a minute. Before we do, though, make sure that you are subscribed to the Aaron Torres Pod YouTube channel on YouTube. We have officially surpassed 56,000 subscribers. Cannot thank you all enough for your support. We really do appreciate it. If you are not subscribed on YouTube, click the little subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. New content, new videos going up every single day. And as always, you can, of course, listen to the show on podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Before we get started, also do want to thank, as always, our friends. I want to thank our partners. You know who I want to thank. I want to thank Cauley Puffs and CauleyPuffs.com. Okay, so I've told you the Cauley Puff story a million times, and I'm going to tell you a million more because this is a company that I truly believe in, okay? It's that time of year. It's going to be, it's spring. It's going to be summer, to quote Justin Timberlake. It's going to be May. Oh, no. May is here. And we're getting to the point of the year. You're going to the beach. You're going to the pool. You're going to be sitting in it. You're mowing the lawn with your shirt off. You can't be looking like a filthy slob, okay? And so you need a snack that is both healthy but delicious. My friends, that is where Cauley Puffs comes in. Baked, not fried, avocado oil, no grease, healthy ingredients. This is the healthy alternative to the crap in your grocery aisle. You do not want to be spending the summer eating unhealthy stuff, putting bad stuff in your body. Get Cauley Puffs instead. For more information, this is what I need you to do. Go to CauleyPuffs.com. That is CauleyPuffs.com, CauleyPuffs.com. You can also learn more at Amazon.com. All you got to do is go to Amazon.com, search Cauley Puffs. They are there. You can order them directly from Amazon. Just throw them in your cart with all the other stuff you got. You can get some Cauley Puffs. Try them out for yourself. You will not be disappointed. For everybody who has tried them, by the way, truly appreciate your support. But again, more information, CauleyPuffs.com. That's CauleyPuffs.com. You can also get them on Amazon. With that said, no more time to waste, so let's get right to it. Jayden Quaintance, power forward, University of Kentucky, joins us right now. All right, joining me via Zoom. Just very fortunate to spend a few minutes with this young man, the former Kentucky Wildcat, the future Kentucky Wildcat. He is headed there in the fall to play college hoops with Kentucky. Jayden Quaintance is joining me. Jayden, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, you?
I'm doing very well. Especially because you made a few minutes for us, so I really appreciate it. You know, the first question I'll just ask, I mean, listen, we've all seen the reports of, you had to have some off-season surgery. Would just ask you, just how you doing, how you feeling? You're young. I'm guessing the body's handling it well, but just most importantly, how have you been? How are you feeling? How's recovery going?
Yeah, I've been doing well, just focusing on recovery as much as possible. I've been getting my flexibility back pretty well. I've been getting, full extension, all those things. So it's been going well. It's been going down. So rehab's been very straightforward, and it's been going well.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and dive in. So, all right. So you were obviously, first of all, unbelievable story that I still don't think enough people appreciate. You played your entire freshman year at 17 years old. Now, I know to you it's no big deal, but to the rest of us, you're playing against 23, 24, 25-year-old grown men. First of all, let me just ask you this. Like, what to you, I'm sure it's no different than any other team or game that you've been part of, but what was it like for you to step on the court against quite literally grown men in college basketball this year at 17 years old playing in the Big 12?
Well, to be honest, it wasn't too much different for me because I've been playing up, I played prep all of high school. I did played up UIBL. I played up the Under Armour circuit. So, sorry, Adidas circuit. So, yeah, I did well. It wasn't too crazy for me. It wasn't that difficult of a transition, I felt.
No, you were unbelievable, man. As a 17-year-old, almost 10 points per game, 8 boards, 2.5 blocks. Let me ask you this: what did you feel like was the biggest adjustment when you did step on the court playing college hoops?
What do I think the biggest adjustment was? I'd probably say just trying to slow down and play. What was the biggest adjustment? Yeah,
What
probably
was it?
play a more slowed down control game, compared to how high school and AU was. It was kind of more controlled, you get into sets more. It's a lot more structured play style. So I felt like that was probably the biggest difference for me.
Let me ask you this: how much more confident? We know you're obviously going through some physical rehab, but how much more confident do you feel like going into year two after having the experience of having played college basketball this past year?
For sure. I feel like have a lot more confidence, knowing what my baseline is. It's really only up from here. So knowing what I have to improve on, having film that I could watch, knowing the level of physicality and the level of skill that I'm going to be going up against, I feel like it gives me an edge over a lot of other people in my draft class.
Let me ask you this. I know the decision to leave Arizona State was a tough one. You spent your freshman year there. I know how much respect you and your family had for Coach Hurley. One, how hard was the decision? But then two, when you did dive 2 feet into the portal process, I mean, what were you looking for in this next college basketball opportunity?
For sure. It was a great coaching staff here. It was a very difficult decision. I felt very comfortable here when I was here, and I enjoyed my time here. But I felt like I had to find a program I felt fit my play style a little bit better. And I felt like Kentucky was that perfect spot. They have a better basketball environment as well. They have a lot more fan support. So I felt like that was a big part of it, as well as, yeah, just fitting my play style a little bit better so I could show off my versatility more and, kind of flourish in a different role.
Let me ask you this. Did having a familiarity with Kentucky, because you obviously are dealing with a different coaching staff than the one that originally recruited you, does that matter at all? But you had visited campus, you knew how much the fan base loves the Wildcats. Did that like how much? Because again, different coaching staff, but same fan base, same arena, same practice facility. How much did that help you when Coach Pope and the Kentucky staff first reached out?
For sure. Well, I already did my official visit. I had unofficial visits there as well. So I'm very familiar with, the fan support that's there. Even when I was on my visit, how many people were there, getting to see the court and the energy that surrounds the program. So that was already there beforehand that I already got to see. And then the new coaching staff as well, they just kind of showed a lot of support and they felt like it felt like they really wanted me here. It wasn't like I was committed previously. So they thought that the fans wanted me there. It felt like they thought I fit very well into their system and I could really help them make a difference next year.
Let me ask you this. Again, no disrespect to anywhere you played this year, but I'll say this: I've been to most of the big quote unquote college basketball arenas in the country. There's nothing like Rupp Arena. A lot of long days before you get to run through that tunnel for the first time. But how excited are you to run out in front of 20,000 fans for the craziest fan base in America? I see you smiling over there.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited. Just again seeing the energy, seeing how many people. That's definitely the largest arena that I've seen, like out of all the ones that I've played in. So I'm just super excited to see the energy that the fans have and get to actually live it through playing and actually being able to receive the love on the court.
When you enter the portal, obviously, I know there was loose contact with Coach Pope from a year ago, but and I think Coach Pope has said this, but both you, your camp, and then him and his staff were both in different places a year ago. He's just trying to get his feet on the ground. You're trying to figure out what's best for you going into your freshman year. What was it like when you actually sat down with him, and really ultimately, what was the sales pitch from him to want to become from him to make you want to become a Kentucky Wildcat once again?
For sure. The sales pitch was kind of more, getting to show off what I could do a little bit more offensively, have a real chance to win next year. I feel like that was also a big part of it. Like they have a lot of good guys over there and they have a real good structured program. So I felt like we have a real good chance to actually win the national championship next year. I felt like that was a big part of it. Their play style, they play a little faster. They shoot a little bit more. I'd be on the perimeter more than I was last year. And I feel like my game versus more there. And I'll be able to show off my versatility that way as well. And I'll be
Yeah,
able to. Mhm.
I'm sorry, man. I cut you off. I
Oh,
apologize.
you're good.
No, I was going to say, listen, Coach Pope obviously coached in the Big 12. You just played in the Big 12, but again, he was in a different spot a year ago. You were in a different spot. How important was it for you to just see what he was going to do and what he did do and what he's capable of doing at Kentucky? And not him personally, but just the system, how it works, and obviously how you would fit in.
For sure. It's always good to have a little bit more information. I feel like given the time to see how well they did last year and how their system works, how freely their system operated, I felt like that was really good for me to be able to see exactly how I'd fit there and get a real visual of where I fit in.
And you mentioned this, and I'll say it so you don't have to, but having seen you kind of come up in the high school ranks, I know that, again, no disrespect to ASU, but that there is more to your game. I mean, how much of your game do you feel like most college basketball fans saw? And when we get you back to 100% here in a few months, how much do you still think there is to show at the college level?
I feel like I didn't really scratch the surface of all that I can do. I didn't feel like I got to show off how good I am as a passer, good I am in transition, good I am actually handling the ball. I feel like I shot really poorly last year. I feel like I'm going to have a lot better shooting year this year. So it's a lot of tools I haven't got to show off this year, and I'm really excited to show that off at this level.
So 6'10" point guard for Kentucky next year. That's what you're telling us?
For sure.
Okay. All right. There you go. Now we don't need to worry. I saw Coach Pope say they might add a piece or two. We just got you to play points, so we're good to go. Real quick, couple more. First of all, I would just ask, obviously, like you said, feel like there's more to show. I know a lot of the guys actually, went down to campus this past weekend, and now that the roster is kind of largely set, how much do you know about your new teammates? I mean, again, everybody played in different spots, but I know, a guy like Jasper Johnson, you kind of came up with. How much do you actually know about the guys? How much have you guys started group chats yet? I mean, how is that process all working?
For sure. Well, I'm pretty familiar with Jasper and Malachi already because USA camps. I played with Jasper on teams that Malachi was with me on one of my visits to Kentucky. So I'm pretty familiar with them. But as far as the transfers, I haven't really got on campus to really meet up with them as much so far. So I look forward to being able to do that a little further down the line. But I haven't had too much communication with them yet.
How have you had a chance to look at any film or, I mean, obviously I'm sure you're following the news cycle like everybody else. Have you had a chance to at least, oh, that guy does this, that I could see myself doing that with this guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got to see a little bit of their play styles, kind of watching their game like on YouTube and Instagram. But I think I played against a few of them also this year.
Sure.
But yeah, I've seen a little bit, but I haven't really got to see in person too much of everybody's game. So I look forward to again to do that over the summer.
Fantastic. I actually saw Coach Pope came to see you the other day. Was he just kind of checking in, just, just saying hello?
Yeah, for sure. Just kind of seeing how I'm doing, seeing how the rehab process is going, just kind of seeing what my situation was like out here, checking in on the family, things of that nature. So it was good just being able to see him in person for
I
sure.
saw. I'm sorry. I saw this quote from him. He did an interview on this past Thursday or this past Wednesday, excuse me, where he said, "We're really excited about Jaden. In fact, I was just with him yesterday. He is a hulking mass of like physicality and the greatest kid you're going to meet in your life. He's incredibly diligent about rehab, this and that. What do you think about your coach saying a hulking mass of physicality?"
Well, it's good. I'm finally getting a little bit of my weight back, fully recovering, getting back, where I was before the rehab process. So, it's good to see the coach has that level of confidence in me and, is seeing the work I'm putting into getting back and being, you know, a big part of the offense next year and the defense and just being a part of that team. So I feel like it's good to see the level of confidence the coach has in me.
That's awesome. I was going to say, obviously we know you're working with some of the best doctors in the world. Again, I know this stuff's always subject to change, not trying to put you on the spot, but I've seen in other interviews that you've done, the expectation is to hopefully be back on the court like late summer, early August, something like that. I mean, is the time frame kind of the same that you had expressed previously?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to get back by like fully back by September, playing physical, like contact playing by September. So that's the goal so far. And yeah, just trying to stay on pace for that.
So, and again, always subject to change, but like in a perfect world, hoping to be ready to go for opening part of the season, November, when the games start to matter.
Definitely, for sure.
Fantastic. The only other thing I'd say, a couple things. One, once you get to Lexington, what are you most looking forward to? I mean, again, it's a process to get you back on the court, but once you're back on the court, getting to know the guys, I mean, what are you most excited about being a Kentucky Wildcat?
Yeah, just kind of getting to know my teammates, getting to know, the situation a little bit better, moving in and getting adapted to the lifestyle that I'm going to be living for the next couple of months. So I'm really excited for that.
And the last thing I'd say, because you're a busy man, you got to get back on the court. What message do you have? Obviously, a lot of Kentucky fans are going to end up watching this. What message do you have for Wildcats fans that can't wait? By the way, let me ask you this. I didn't even ask you. You're a young guy, so sometimes whatever. But like, how crazy is it for you that it came full circle? Where probably at this time last year you thought, hey, I love this school. I love this campus. I love the opportunity that it presented me. I love this fan base. And probably a year ago, you probably thought, darn it, that chapter of my life is never going to happen. Now you're getting to live it. I would have to assume that's pretty exciting because I know how excited you were to get there the first time.
Not definitely, getting back in that environment, seeing the love. You already see it on social media, how, wild the fans are, how excited they are about basketball. So it's always great to be in that environment for sure.
Fantastic. The only other question I got, a lot of Kentucky fans are going to be watching, going to be listening. What message do you have for Big Blue Nation?
I'm excited to win with you guys. We're gonna make a splash this year. Do big things.
Jayden Quaintance, man, thank you so much for the time. We cannot wait to see you on the court. Best of luck with rehab. Best of luck getting down to Lexington. And yeah, man, we're so excited to see you. And thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.